Hi guys, this is Static P, also known as Ryan, and I'm here with the Beta Cat.
Hello.
Hello. So I have to apologize because it's been 4 weeks since our last Don't Worry Wednesday. I was on vacation for 2 weeks, and on the third week I got back and I was supposed to do one with Derek, and then I dropped the ball and it didn't happen. Wednesday came earlier than I expected, which, you know, the weeks are usually the same every week, so I don't know how I did that, but Wednesday came and I was like, oh, snap, today's Wednesday. Well, and it was too late. So, this week, because of all of that, we're going to be doing 4 different comments. We're going to be reading from them and touching on them as best as we can. So if we could get started, that'd be awesome. Derek, what is the first comment you're going to be reading off?
So the first one I got is from R. Edwards, and they asked, I'm a senior in high school and it's college application season. So I've been thinking a lot about what I want to major in and what job I want to have. All of this planning for my future has been really freaking me out. My main goal is to get a job that I enjoy because I follow the philosophy that if you like what you do, you never work a day in your life. I agree with that. I don't care as much about the paycheck as long as I can support myself. I'm scared of falling into some ordinary office, and I feel like if I choose the wrong major, I won't get to do what I want to do. And he feels like his decisions in life will be based on just that moment of what he wants to do in the future. So, R. Edwards, I'm going to have Ryan give his thoughts on this first.
Sure. That's I can see you're in a situation where it feels like you have a lot of pressure and it's like your whole life is before you and it's like, what do? I don't want to make the wrong choice. I don't even know what the right choice is, between one or two or anything. I've been in that position before, but this is what I gathered from my life and watching others. I don't think you should worry about it too much. And here's why. Life and how you plan it, well, the plans you make in life just pretty much 99% of the time never happen. Unfortunately. And that's not that bad. Not to say that life is crappy. Life is awesome because it's an adventure and so many different things happen that you don't expect, and amazing things can happen and dreams can come true and all of that sort of thing. But a lot of times when you're planning out, like, I'm gonna go become this and then I'm gonna do that and blah blah blah, it just generally doesn't happen except for like to less than 1% of people. So what my advice would be is don't worry about it too much. And if you're not certain on what kind of big plans you want to make plans that are small that don't have big repercussions, I guess, if that makes sense. Of course, if you have something you want to do, you really want to do, then I would say go chase it. Like if you're really into some kind of sport or if you're really into some kind of art or whatever, I would say go as hard as you can in that direction. But if you don't know what that is yet, then do some exploring. One thing that I would suggest though is that college can be an expensive place to go exploring. So if you are not needing to go to college for the profession you are going for, I would recommend taking a look at other options like trying to study online and that sort of thing. Just because I know from personal experience and experience from a lot of friends that college can be quite an ordeal in finances. So, that's my best advice. Derek can pick up where I missed.
And I agree with that 100%. A few things to note as well is that the whole thing about like you making your plans and not them falling through, don't take that as discouraging advice or, to like sway you away from what it is you had planned for yourself. Just know there is a possibility that what you had planned may not always go as planned. So it's good to have a backup plan, plan B, plan C, all the way up to Z or Z from wherever region you're from.
Nice.
But always follow your heart, man. Always follow your dreams. and do your best to take them. For every opportunity that arises, you go for that 100%. It could be something super small, but you never know what that can turn into. You know, snowballing effect that's created for some reason. So don't worry about too much of what your decision you're doing right now in this scenario with school and choosing a job to go into what you want to do as a hobby, which is also your future career. I think you should focus more on just about experience and, you know, living your life as best as possibly into the future. And for any opportunity that rises that is towards your ideal future career, you know, go for it. But at the same time, have a backup plan that can support you while you chase your dreams. Because you can't chase your dreams 100% with nothing to fall back on. I mean, you could. There's a high risk reward there, though.
Yeah.
But it's good to have something to fall back on. But don't be discouraged because, hey, man, I believe in you, and I'm sure Ryan believes in you as well. So follow your heart, chase your dreams, and you'll do fine, my man, girl. I can't tell. You have an anime picture
You
on your
person.
thing.
You.
You Apache helicopter. There you go.
Ooh, nice. I really like the comments from the Apache helicopters.
Your turn.
Thanks, by the way. I noticed that a lot of times when I say things, it doesn't quite come out right. And so Derek said something and it made way more sense than I managed to. So thanks, Derek. One more thing I would add on to that is it just to kind of emphasize the point we already made. I went into music and I didn't really have any plans, but by pursuing music one step at a time, different opportunities came along to put me in the position where I am now that I was not expecting. I could not have planned for it. I had no idea they were coming. You never know what life's going to bring you in the form of opportunities. So just keep your eyes out. I'm not like, you know, super famous musician, but I know on behalf of Derek, I'm sure it's the same for him. Different opportunities have come along that he didn't necessarily plan out. They just kind of happened and got him to where he is in his job situation and in his music situation. And everything seems to work out. And as long as you are, you know, being cautious with yourself, you know, considering the different options you have and deciding which ones are the good ones, you'll keep on moving forward, and it's I think it's a healthy way to go about it if you don't necessarily have everything planned out already. So awesome. And I guess I'll read one that's kind of on a similar note. I believe. Let's see here. This one. This is a comment from Kaiser Gray, RS3, and I hope I pronounced that wrong. I hope I pronounced that right and not wrong, unlike what I just said, which was wrong and not right. He said, the joke at the end was funny. I'm not sure if this is enough to do a video on, but I find that I'm lacking in motivation in my life. I'm a high school age student, I'm a high school age college student, but it feels more like I'm going through the motions of college, so to speak. School is pretty easy for me, but I don't really care where I'm going with it right now. There is not a lot I feel I want to do, and if nothing else, I would like to support my hobbies. What advice can you give me on the topic of motivating myself and finding what I want to do with my life? Thanks. I really enjoyed the series, so keep up with the good work, guys. If you don't mind, I'd like to direct that at you, Derek, and see what you have to say about it. Sorry to put you on the spot.
Oh, no. It's fine. So the emotions that you're speaking of, I think what it could possibly be, or which I think I'm more or less understanding of what it is because I've gone through it, Ryan's gone through it, a lot of people have gone through it, but for those who are just getting into it, probably have no idea what it really means. But that motivation is more, I think, is just a slight bit of anxiety and some self-doubt along with some nervous antics, which there's nothing wrong with that. You know, everyone goes through that. But the thing about which kind of coincides with the previous topic we just talked about, with not being able to do what you want to do and you end up somewhere else, which is nowhere near your hobby, dream / career job, is not to worry about it too much. Because as said before, you can plan something to the T, but a lot of times it won't happen. Not to say that it will not happen. You just got to know that there's a good possibility that it won't. But just because that exists doesn't mean your dreams don't exist. They're still very much alive. So, as Ryan explained in detail, be observant of the opportunities that come to you, and also be observant of opportunities that you can create for yourself. If you overhear something from your peers, be like, hey, I can do that for you. Is it okay if I tag along? Or if you see something on your school board, like, let's say your hobby is art, looking for a freelance artist, even if you don't feel confident in your own skills, just because we're our worst critic and worst reviewer, as they say, go for it, man. What you feel is not good enough, to them, it might be the best thing that's ever happened to them. Because you never know. You got to get that confidence and you got to get that motivation. Tell yourself that, hey, man, if I want my life to work, I got to work for it. Some of us are fortunate that it just kind of falls into our lap, but a lot of us have to work for it, and we got to work real hard. But you're always rewarded if you work hard enough for it. So that motivation and going through the motions thing, I believe you just gotta really dig deep inside yourself, grab that passion that's inside your heart and tell yourself like, hey man, I really want this to work out for me in the future. And I want it so bad that I'm going to go 100%, I'm going to go 200%, 300%, so on, until it is yours. So in the meantime, man, I give all power to you and your hopes and dreams, because I know they're there and I believe in you. And I'm going to take a sip of my water.
Sweet. All right, I want you to keep talking while you have the water in your mouth. I'm just kidding. I have very little to add onto that. One thing I guess I could say is, in speaking towards motivation in general, I guess I'll do this through an example. I have a friend who had a friend. I had a friend who, whose friend was an owner of a guitar shop, and he makes his own custom guitars and sells them. And he was starting to lack motivation. He saw that his business was going down, and he started to lose hope for his business. My friend told him, whenever you start to feel like it's going downhill, whenever you start to lose the motivation, that is the time where you need to start to expand your business, because that expanding your business will get you excited about the business and help you to bring it up. And by expanding your business, it will bring other customers because they'll see something is going on. And that's true in the world of business. So in the world of studies, it's perhaps maybe a little bit different, but possibly the same. Where if you don't necessarily have the motivation to do something, if you are able to say, just go at it anyways, the success that you might have by doing that might cause you to might cause your motivation to increase, or the things that you learn from doing those things might cause your motivation to increase. Like, oh, I learned this really neat fact and I think that was fun, so now I'm more motivated to do that sort of thing. And same thing with hobbies, same thing with writing music. When you don't have the motivation continue on, if you force yourself to do it, your experience will usually cause you to rekindle that motivation in you to start doing something again. So, hopefully that provides of some use to you. Two more comments here. I guess we'll go back to Derek and see what his last person that he's going to read is.
Alrighty
had
then.
to say.
So the last comment on my side is from Diclonus Rain, or just Rain. And she said, I've been having problems trying to reach out and talk to people who are my friends. By the way, she's had this problem since she was a teen. I'm always worried that I'll become overbearing, annoy that friend, or they'll see me as clingy and so I wind up never doing it. And it also makes me feel guilty and lonesome. I really wish that I can take that step and talk to them, but then I get scared. I don't know what to call it, but it always gets to me and it's been becoming a real problem recently. It's also caused me to lose quite a few friends in the past. And what do you think about that, Ryan?
That's interesting, because I know for myself, I've always been conscious, yeah, that's the right word, about what I say to people. And I find that's actually a good thing. It's valuable because it allows you to, bite your tongue when you have something bad to say or whatever. But in the scenario that you're talking about, it sounds like the things that you have to say are valuable and would be something that would add to the friendship or destroy it. Like you have something you want to tell them, like, hey, I see this issue and I really want to help you with it, but you're afraid that bringing it up will cause them to hate you, which is understandable, an understandable worry. What I would have to say is two things, I guess. The best friends you can ever have in life are the friends that help you to become the best version of yourself. I mean, that goes for everything. The best teachers you have are the teachers that help you become the best version of yourself. The best friends you have, the best parents in the world or whatever, the best anything that has an influence on another person, the better it has, the better it does for the person, the better it is. I mean, naturally. So the best friends are the people who help each other out. And so if you're trying to help a person, then I would say go ahead and say it. But I know it can be hard to work up the courage and also to find the right time, because certain times are good and certain times are bad. But I would like to try to encourage you to reach out to that friend if what you're going to say is going to help you and drive your friendship further and help them improve and help you improve yourselves. I would allow you to put yourself on the line to help that person out. Or I should say allow yourself to put yourself on the line, because sometimes you got to ask, is it important or is it not? And if it is important and it's helping this person, then I think it's also important to put yourself on the line to help that person. Even if it means destroying your friendship, it could come out to help that person later on in life, and they'll always have you to thank for that. While that's not a nice outcome per se, it also is a valuable outcome in another respect. So I guess just you have to weigh the consequences. But I think if you're trying to help a person, go ahead and say it. I think that'd be best. What do you got to say, Derek?
So the part about always feeling worried that you'll become overbearing or annoying your friend for asking for help. I would tell you that I've had that same problem before. And the way I kind of got over it was that if I wanted help, I shouldn't feel bad about asking for it. Because what we're doing right now is we're helping you guys out. And we've gave the same advice that you shouldn't feel bad asking for. So what does that say about myself? If I'm willing to give the advice, I should be also willing to take that same advice that I give. And, usually that's actually pretty hard to give the same advice to give to someone. But if you're giving that same courage to them, even if you don't have it yourself, what would you do if they asked you to do the same exact thing? You wouldn't just say no, would you? You would do it because you knew that it was the right thing to do. Because that is bettering you as a person, as Ryan explained. Every little bit to make you a better person than you were yesterday is a step in the right direction. So when you have that feeling that you'll annoy your friend for asking for help, or that you might lose them for asking for help, you know what? Maybe they're not your friend at all, actually. I can't say that 100% for every single friend that you have, that asking for help would annoy them. Because as Ryan said, there's a good time and a bad time. But the worst time is to never ask at all. And if you never ask a question, the answer is always no. So why don't you take that chance to get a yes? Because you know that yes will help you exponentially. Whatever problem you have, it can dissipate just a little bit. Maybe not 100%, but just a little to calm your nerves and maybe have you think about the greater picture of it altogether. And if you feel guilty and loathsome, I wouldn't say don't feel guilty. Because if the guilt is towards yourself, it shouldn't be. Because what you're thinking and what you feel is kind of yourself telling you, how am I trying to phrase this? The way you're feeling is because you know deep inside that what you're doing is not the right thing to do. So kind of take that guilt and lonesome as more of a positive act of encouragement from your subconscious telling you, hey, Rain, I know you're feeling bad and I know you don't want to do it, but maybe you should. Like, take that as a little hint of a push from inside yourself that your heart's telling you, hey, we need to get better. Hey, something's bothering you. Let your friend know. Let your loved ones know, your family, whoever it may be. Because if you continue to let it go, as you said, if you had it since you're a teen, you're probably a young adult now. You could probably tell that it hasn't been doing very well. But you don't have to take this step 100% right away tomorrow. Little steps. You know, just call up a friend, send a text, email, message, pigeon, whatever it may be, and kind of tell them, like, hey, you know, something's on my mind, and it would really mean a lot if we can talk just for a little bit. And then go from there. Next time a super huge problem comes up, you know, don't be ashamed to ask for help. Just say, hey man, I really need someone to talk to, and I'd appreciate it if you were that person. So I guess like the whole run around, beat around the bush thing I'm trying to say is that don't feel bad asking for help, because you've also told that same advice to someone else. And if they were able to make that courage to ask you for help, I know for darn sure you have that same courage inside of you. So I applaud you for asking this question to all of us and allowing us to help you, Rain. So I hope you can take the same courage and apply it to your future self, because I know you got it in you. And it's hot.
Beautifully said, Derek. I realized that when I took the comment, I took reach out as in you were trying, as in Rain. You said her name was Rain, right?
Yeah.
As if Rain was trying to reach out to her friends, and you took it as her trying to reach out to her friends for help, which does make sense. That is the normal way of thinking about that. I just completely understood it the wrong way. However, my advice still kind of applied in some ways, so I'm glad.
Yeah, it did actually.
Yeah, so cool. Nice job, Derek. All right. So one last comment here. It's from SB Akiko. Says, hi, I'm Sarah, and she's allowing me to disclose her name. This was a private message. She said, firstly, I want to genuinely thank you for thank you too for making these videos. They really make me feel better when I can relate to the topics or not. I love the advice you give. So my problem is that my whole life, I've been completely terrified of failing. I was diagnosed with depression, anxiety issues, and an inferiority complex. Additionally, I literally have no self-esteem. I'm not even able to accept compliments. If my friends try to cheer me up and say something like, hey look, you're really good at whatever, or you are the best in class on a subject, I can't really take it in, and it feels like they're just saying it to be nice. I think my parents actually try to support me as well, but it feels like they expect a lot more from me. And if I fail, or I am not able to accomplish certain achievements, they'd drop me. It gets to the point where it's totally debilitating, where I can't think of anything else other than all the mistakes I've made. At night, I lie in bed and have panic attacks because I'm so scared of the future. I don't know what to do. Right now, I spend a year Right now, I spend a year abroad to earn at least a little bit of time and try to figure out what I'm good at. However, it feels as if I'm bad at everything I do and feels like I'm entirely worthless. I just literally have no idea what to do. I attempted suicide twice because of it and other factors. My friends asked me to seek professional help, but even that I can't do. I don't want my family to find out about my problems, and I already had bad experiences with several therapists. And that's basically where it ends. Sorry for the bad reading. All right. Derek, what are your thoughts on this?
So we have a lot going on here.
Yeah.
And
lots.
just because there's a lot going on doesn't mean it has to be too complicated on how we kind of take charge with this. So the whole diagnosing thing, which I'm going to go ahead and apologize right now that this is not my place to say any of this because I'm not a medical doctor, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a spaceman.
A spaceman?
The depression, anxiety issues, and inferiority complex, they're all diagnosed. But the thing was, or is, with a lot of diagnoses, it's really hard to really accept that it's true with things of these natures. And I know what a lot of you are thinking, and you as well, Sarah, that this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He's a spaceman. But doctors have to do certain things and diagnose because it makes the hospitals money and the doctors money. But I'm not 100% saying that this is all false, that whatever your doctor said is absolutely false. There could be some truth there. But the main point I'm getting here is just because you were diagnosed with these things doesn't mean it has to be true long term. Depression is curable. Anxiety issues are curable. This inferiority complex is curable. Curable in what way? It all starts with you. It all starts with you and ends with you. Depression, they give you these pills or whatever. Well, what's the best medicine really? It's for you to go out and just enjoy life, have fun, be with your friends and this and that. And you say that you can't take compliments very easily or at all. And it just feels like they're saying it to be nice. I think something with that, because I've had this myself. And the way I used to see it was, hey, yeah, they're just being nice. They're just saying it because they want me to feel good. But with that kind of thinking, it made me kind of cold to it all. Because what it really was is this person actually cared about me. This person cares about me so much that they see my talents, that they see me for who I am deep within what I actually am physically showing. Now, think about that for a second. Isn't that pretty awesome? That this person complimenting you is taking the time out of their day to look deep within you, to bring out your best features. It's like, hey, Sarah, I like how you talked to that kid the other day. Or, hey, Sarah, I like the way you play that guitar. I have no idea if you're a musician. If you are, I'm a genius. But, the thing with the therapist as well, where you have bad experiences with them, this we have no entire story behind. We don't know if the therapists were just bad people or if the bad experiences were caused because you were denying the help. We don't know that. So I'm going to go based on the assumption that it was just a bad experience on both ends. Therapist was probably not as good as they claimed, and you probably didn't take the advice as 100% as you would have liked. So with that little bit being said, I would suggest that maybe give a therapist another chance, and if you're 100% against that idea, then don't use therapists. Use nature. Use the wonderful world we call the universe and Earth, and just experience life. Let the world show you that there's a lot of amazing things out there. There's so many cool things that we have yet to see ourselves because we're still living the motions, going through life and like, holy shiz, I want to jump in the ocean and play with the dolphins. That's an amazing thing that we can do something like that. And the panic attacks that you have because you're scared of your future because of possibly what was said to you during diagnosis, and just allowing yourself to take that in because someone told you that's true. I want to let you know that it's not true at all. I'm not 100% on that, but I believe that you're an amazing person, Sarah. You're scared for your future, and that's admirable. You're passionate about your future, that you want to be right. You want it to be amazing, just like you see on TV. But it doesn't have to be that way 100%. You can make your own life, whatever you really care about every day in your life, be it art, be it music, be it helping others out, be it just an amazing individual who cares about life and just cares about their friends, you know? Take that with you in your future endeavors. You know, this goes back as well to the other things about planning out your future. You can always plan out to the T. You can have a freaking blueprint, everything just tied all together, you know? And sometimes it just won't go that way. But as Ryan and I have said, whatever opportunity arises, you take it. Whatever opportunity you can create, you make it. Whatever opportunity that is there, that is yours. And what do you do with that? You snowball it. You make it something bigger, something better, something more interesting, something more fun, something more amazing. And before you know it, tomorrow, you're right where you wanted to be. And what do you do with that information? You smile. You smile and you tell yourself, I got this. Because I know you do, Sarah. Like I said, I'm not a spaceman, but I'll be your hero. In a form of a video.
Nice. Dude, that was awesome.
Anyway,
you had some sweet quotes in there that you just pulled off the top of your head. That was awesome. Or you made up, I should say. Were you finished? I'm sure you were.
Yeah, it's hot.
Because that was like a perfect finish. So I was like, I know he's done. Okay, anyways. That was so beautiful. I have like almost nothing to add to that. I literally have nothing to add, so I'm just gonna add this. It's in respects to the both the therapist and the diagnosis of your doctors. I completely agree with Derek. We don't know all of the, we don't know everything that happened in your life or anything. And we can't say that they were bad at their job. Doctors are trained when they go to school to diagnose people with stuff. That's what they're supposed to do. And so they diagnose you with this or that or whatever. But when it comes to mental things, it, just like Derek said, it doesn't mean it can't be fixed. It could be true, but it doesn't mean it has to be fixed with a drug, through antidepressants or whatever. It's something that's in your mind. It's not a physical thing. It's something that can change. And I just want to kind of quickly touch on the science behind that to kind of tell you what a good therapist should tell you, and also help you to understand that you have the power to overcome all of this because it's written right into your mind. It goes basically like this. Your subconscious mind is what creates and executes all of your habits. For example, how you walk, how to ride a bike, how you talk. What emotions come from certain situations, how you react to those emotions. These are all habits. They're formed within your mind as you grow up, watching others. Sometimes you'll notice you start to talk like the people you're around. That's, you picked up on that habit and you start to execute it without even thinking about it. And this happens with all sorts of different things throughout your life. But the beautiful thing about that is because it's a habit, because it's constantly changing, you can change it. And it's not easy, but by forcing yourself to do one thing over and over, you can, over time, change your habits about it. For example, I used to get offended by everything. But one day I recognized that someone insulted somebody and they weren't offended by it. They laughed and thought it was funny. And I was like, well, I want to be that person. And so then whenever I got insulted from that point on, I told myself, at that time, I was still offended. I was angry with that person whenever they insulted me. In school, it happened a lot. But I held it inside and I said, Ryan, you don't need to get angry about this. Just pretend that you're not angry, And then every time I got insulted, I would ask myself, do I really need to be upset about it? And I would tell myself no, and I would try my best to execute no. And after about, 2 weeks, maybe 4 at the most, I was no longer offended by anything anybody said ever. And that was awesome. Now, time when I'm caught off guard from time to time, yes, I can regress and pick up a bad habit. But as long as I'm focusing on fixing it, it does change over time, and that's written right into our minds. So it's something you can trust in and believe in. You can change your issues that you've been diagnosed with anxiety or depression or any of these things. It is possible just by yourself, by forcing yourself to do something, by creating new habits. So that's all I have. Any concluding comments?
So as a whole, I guess, about motivation, because a lot of this had to do with like motivation / confidence slightly. They're all like kind of mixed in some sort of way.
Yeah, that's
the
true.
best general idea of advice that I can give is just go out there and live your life. That's easier said than done, of course. But honestly, man, all of you guys are awesome. You're all special in your own way. I may not know you physically, super sincerely, knowing each other like face to face, me living next door. Maybe I am, you never know. Just because I don't know you deep down to the core, I believe that in every person is something amazing. It may not be there just yet. It may be waiting for you to go find it. And I think that's all you guys really need to do. You know, I'm not trying to say that you're going to find it right away. Of course not. It's going to take some time. But I truly believe inside each of any one of you watching this video, plus all the others out there in this entire world that we call Earth, there's something special inside you guys. And I want you guys to find it. What makes you super happy? What makes you really passionate about whatever it is that you care about? I want you to really dig deep inside and pull that out and have that carry you into the future. You probably don't believe me, and that's totally fine. But I believe in you. So do your old pal Derek a favor and go look for it. Yeah, I love you.
Yeah, I love you too. Oh wait, that was not directed at me.
No, Ryan, that's not for you.
Aww. No, it's okay. It's okay. Even if you don't love me, I still love you. But I love everyone, especially you. Awesome. So, we're supposed to close this down with a joke now. But I dropped the ball and I didn't bring one to the game. Do you have a joke, Derek? Wait, that's kind of a joke in itself because I dropped the ball and I didn't bring one to the game. Hey, that's kind of a funny
That's actually pretty good.
situation. Yeah,
That's a pretty good joke, actually.
That's
But
not
I guess I'll
actually
throw.
very funny,
I guess
though.
I'll throw one in just because we've lagged on an episode.
Yeah, thanks.
So, two guys walk into a bar, right?
Right.
And they both fall unconscious.
Nice. I was like, wait, what kind of bar? Great. Nice. Those poor
Don't hire
guys.
us to be stand-up comedians. We'll fail.
Yeah, I'll end up quoting other comedians, and it won't be as funny as when they did it. It'll just be stupid. I think we've all done that before. Copied a stand-up comedian what they said and said it how they said it, and then no one laughs, and you're like, yeah, it's not funny if it's not on stage. I don't know, I've got the wrong tone or what, but anyhow, wonderful. Well, yeah, I sincerely hope that all of our advice works in some way for at least someone. That would make everything worth it. And once again, I should just add that, you know, we're not professionals and we're just giving out advice based on what we experienced in our lives. And yeah, so any closing words, Derek, beyond that?
You're amazing, just the way you are.
Just the way you are. Of course, you could improve a little and that would make you more amazing. But you're still amazing just as you are, you know? So that's great.
I'm gonna keep staring at the camera and make you guys
I
uncomfortable.
did that kind of awkwardly too. Okay, awesome. Well, thanks for joining us again. Sorry about the huge delay, and we hope you are around for our next one. We'll be doing another one next week. Please leave your comments below about whatever issues you'd like us to talk on. And I've been here with the Beta Cat.
That's me.
And see you later.
Bye.
I love you.
I love you too.